I'm here today as an ally, a straight ally, and I'm not here to be the Democratic chair. I'm here to be an ally, and I'm happy to be that, and I really feel fortunate to be an ally and help further the causes of the LGBTQ community. Okay, so I'm going to announce a few elected officials, and I saw a couple more came in. First, Justice Michael Cherry. Justice Nancy Seda. Assemblywoman Peggy Pierce. Assemblyman David Boxian. Assemblywoman Lucy Flores. And then I'd also, is there anybody else? The problem with lists is you always leave someone off, so this is the last call. Did I leave anyone off? Perfect. Those are our elected officials, and we also thank the elected officials that let us sit on the floor with them today. It was a great honor and a great opportunity to talk to them about the bills that are in the Senate and the Assembly. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our first speaker today. He is the chairman and founder of the Courage Campaign, and one of the fastest growing online organizing networks for progressives. And as a former organizer, I love this. When I read about him, I got so excited. He launched the Courage Campaign in 2005 to harness and sustain the grassroots energy of Californians. He's an openly gay person. He led the Courage Campaign and expanded its focus to include LGBT issues in 2008. He was able to organize 500,000 people, activists nationwide, to petition the U.S. Congress and military and for the president to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He mobilized more than 140,000 activists to sign petitions supporting the broadcast of the historic trial on Prop 8. And this is amazing. His site has received over 3 million visitors and 16,000 comments to date. I'm pleased to introduce Rick Jacobs.
Thank you very, very much. It's great to see such energy. I first want to thank, with all due respect to our friends from other political persuasions, I do want to thank you and what you all managed to do in Nevada. It matters a lot to us all over the country. And I also have to and want to acknowledge again Erin Knapp. Courage Campaign is part of the Progress Now network. Erin Knapp, well, we can't get a nap from her. So, we just can't. Now, I'm going to do something that Cleve Jones here thinks I have no capacity to do in any of the following, which is that saying that brevity is the soul of wit, and he thinks I don't have any of those three attributes. But I'm going to give it a shot. Courage Campaign exists to do one very simple thing. It's to provide a place and a way for anybody and everybody in the state of California and in the country to become active to the degree that they are willing and able to help with full federal equality. That's our national mission. We have a state mission that's about making California more progressive, more governable, and of course more equitable. In that regard, in May of 2009, something dramatic happened that we now take for granted. I think it's the way of the world. In May of 2009, when the California Supreme Court ruled that Prop 8 would be upheld, was the law of the land, a group called the American Foundation for Equal Rights, some very close friends of ours, filed suit in court in California, in federal court, and we know the history now. August 4th, 2010, Judge Vaughn Walker, historically, for the first time in the history of the United States, ruled that same-sex marriage is constitutional, and to put it another way, a ban on that is unconstitutional. That's never happened before in the history of the country. That trial, in and of itself, has changed the way people think about full equality, for gays, lesbians, bisexual, and transgender people. And if you look at the opinion polls last week or 2 weeks ago, we saw one that showed that 53% of Americans now say that same-sex marriage is just fine, thank you very much. And it's become something that even folks who used to use this as a wedge issue increasingly think twice about. That said, we have a very long way to go, and that's why the Courage Campaign created something called testimony. And it's something that I suspect Cleve is going to talk a bit about because he's really the one who invented it. And I'm not going to say much more except the following. It is the first time ever that there is an online place. There's an archive, but it's also an active archive for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender stories of all sorts. And I'm going to tell you two quick things, and then I'm going to turn this back over to you. One is that if you want to tell your story, we have a testimony camera outside. Arisha Hatch, who's our national field director, waving her hand in the back, can show you where. And Derek Washington, I forgot to mention, has also made a lot of this possible, made it possible for us to be here today, so we thank you for that. But if you want to tell your story of any sort, please do. You'll see when you look at couragecampaign.org/testimony, you'll see the power of this site. And I'm going to finish with a story about the power of this site. Talking about that court case. 5 weeks ago, California, I'm going to go back even further. Let me just do a little history of this case. August 4th, 2010, unconstitutional. Stay on marriage, right? Me too, so the judges of the Supreme Court here understand this better than I will. The judge who ruled that banning same-sex marriage is unconstitutional said, okay, but we won't do it right now. We'll hold on. And then the Ninth Circuit, which is the appellate court there, said, well, fine, we'll expedite this because we understand that this is a matter of urgency. December 6th, they had a hearing. January 4th, record speed. The Ninth Circuit came back and said, we have a question that California Supreme Court, a question that's a procedural issue. The California Supreme Court about 5 weeks ago said, well, we're gonna decide, and we're gonna decide, and we'll let you know when that is. Well, we went out to our members in California and we said, hey, tell the court, tell the public why you can't wait to get married. And we got hundreds and hundreds of responses. This is the power of story. And one of those stories is from a couple that now lives in Palm Springs, California. Darren Kernick and Ed Watson. Darren is 80 and Ed is 78. They've been together for 40 years. And Arisha went and shot a video of them, a very homemade video that got 83,000 views. It was picked up by the Washington Post. It was picked up by the Sacramento Bee. It was picked up everywhere. And then yesterday, the LA Times ran the story. Beautiful photograph of this couple. Guess why they can't wait? They can't wait because after all these years, not only did Prop 8 pass, not only have the courts put a stay on, but about a year ago, Ed was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And Darren says, you know what, we can't travel out of the state, and even if we could, I couldn't afford it, but even if we could, our friends aren't there and our family's not there. And he said, we just want to get married while Ed can still remember. And you know, that's what this is all about. So with that, I want to thank you for letting us be here today. I want to thank you for letting us be part of such a powerful movement in this state that inspires us all over the country. What you do here, people watch, because it isn't necessarily easy anywhere, but it's particularly not easy in a place with a diverse population and maybe some more conservative views sometimes. So everything you're doing here matters greatly, and thank you very much for letting us be here.